Good morning students. Welcome to the Geometry online session. This is the 10th session on quadrilaterals. In the previous session we have learned about the trapezium. So what is the trapezium? When only one pair of opposite sides of a quadrilateral is parallel, then the quadrilateral is trapezium. Okay. So here in this quadrilateral PQRS, PQ is parallel to RS. Therefore, it is a trapezium. One more property we have seen. Yes, only two pairs of adjacent angles are supplementary. Okay. So, in this trapezium, if you consider PQ is parallel to RS, then angle P plus angle R is equal to 180 degree and angle Q plus angle S is equal to 180 degree. These two angles P and R are on one side of the transversal if you consider PR as a transversal. Similarly, if you consider QS as a transversal, then angle Q and angle S are also present on the one side of transversal. Therefore, these two are interior angles and we know that interior angles are supplementary. Okay. Then one more property we have learned about the median. What is the median? The segment joining the midpoints of a non-parallel sides of a trapezium is called the median of the trapezium. Okay. So these are the important points regarding trapezium. After that, we have seen that there are two types of trapezium. One is scalene trapezium and this is the isosceles trapezium. In isosceles trapezium, the non-parallel side of a trapezium are congruent. Therefore, here in this trapezium, side PS and side QR, these are the non-parallel sides of this trapezium. Yes, so these two sides will be congruent. So here PQ is parallel to SR and side PS is congruent to side QR. Therefore, we can say that the base angles, that is angle S, is congruent to angle R. Okay. So in isosceles trapezium, the base angles are congruent. Okay. Now we are going to continue with practice set 5.4. First two sums we did in the previous session and today we are going to complete this practice set 5.4. Okay. This is the last sum. In quadrilateral ABCD, side BC is smaller than side AD. Side BC is parallel to side AD, and if side BA is congruent to side CD, then prove that angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB. So here this quadrilateral is given as isosceles trapezium because the non-parallel sides are congruent. Yes. So this is a isosceles trapezium and in this trapezium we have to show that angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB. Now we know the property of trapezium. The base angles of the trapezium are congruent in isosceles trapezium. So angle A and angle D are congruent and we have to show that angle B and angle C are also congruent. Okay. So let's start with the solution. In quadrilateral ABCD, side BC is parallel to side AD and side BA is congruent to side CD. It is given to us. Okay. So therefore quadrilateral ABCD is a isosceles trapezium. And in isosceles trapezium we know that base angles are congruent. So we can write here angle BAD is equal to angle CDA. Okay. Now side BC is parallel to side AD and side BA and side CD are their transversals. So what we can write here, if BA is the transversal, then we can write here angle BAD plus angle ABC is equal to 180 degree because these two are the interior angles. Yes. Similarly, if you consider CD as the transversal, then angle CDA plus angle DCB is equal to 180 degree. Okay. Reason you will write as interior angles and write this equation as equation 2. Okay. So now if you observe these equations, the right hand side of these equations are equal. So the left hand side must be equal. So we can write here angle BAD plus angle ABC is equal to angle CDA plus angle DCB from equation 2. Now angle BAD plus angle ABC is equal to, now instead of angle CDA we can write angle BAD. Yes, from equation 1 where we have shown that angle BAD is equal to angle CDA plus angle DCB. Okay. Now angle BAD are common, so you can cancel them. They are on the either side of equal to sign, so we can cancel them. So what are the remaining terms here? Angle ABC is equal to angle DCB. Hence we have proved that angle ABC is congruent to angle DCB. I hope you have understood this sum. Now after this we are going to learn the theorem of midpoints of two sides of a triangle. This theorem is also known as midpoint theorem. Okay. So what is the statement for this theorem? The segment joining midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and half of it. So this theorem has two parts. So let's see first diagram for this. Here I have drawn one triangle ABC. In this triangle, point P is the midpoint of side AB and point Q is the midpoint of side AC. So what is the statement given? The segment joining midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. That means these are the two sides, and what is the third side here? Side BC. That means if you join these two midpoints, you will get segment PQ, and this segment PQ is parallel to the segment BC. Okay, and half of it, that means we have to show that PQ is equal to half of BC. Okay, so let's write down what is given to us. In triangle ABC, point P is the midpoint of seg AB and point Q is the midpoint of seg AC. So what we have to prove is seg PQ is parallel to seg BC and PQ is half of BC. Okay, so these two things we have to prove. So for that we have to do one construction. What we have to do? We have to produce seg PQ up to R such that PQ is equal to QR. So here you can write, you can extend seg PQ till point R such that PQ is equal to QR and draw R segment RC. Okay. Now because of this construction, two triangles are formed here. So let's compare these two triangles. So in triangle AQP and triangle CQR, what we can write here? Yes, we can write here seg PQ is congruent to seg QR. Reason is construction. Okay, in the construction only we have written that extend seg PQ till R such that PQ is equal to QR. Okay. Similarly, you can write here seg AQ is congruent to seg QC because Q is the midpoint of seg AC. Yes. So therefore, angle AQP is congruent to angle CQR. These two angles are congruent because they are vertically opposite angles. So here two corresponding sides and one corresponding angle included between them is congruent. So you can write here triangle AQP is congruent to triangle CQR by which test? Yes, by side angle side test. Now if these two triangles are congruent, then their corresponding components are also congruent. That means angle PAQ is congruent to angle RCQ. Yes. Write this equation as equation 1 and reason you will write as corresponding angles of congruent triangles. Okay. Similarly, sec AP is congruent to sec CR. Write this equation as equation 2, and reason is corresponding sides of congruent triangle. Now if you see the equation 1, in equation 1 what is given? Angle PAQ is congruent to angle RCQ. So these two angles are congruent, and if you observe this figure carefully, you can see here sec AB is parallel to sec CR. That means these two are parallel lines, and if you consider AC as the transversal, then these two angles will be pair of alternate interior angles. So we know that alternate interior angles are congruent. Okay, so that means we can say here line AB is parallel to line CR. Okay, reason is alternate angles test. Okay, now from equation 2 what is given here? Sec AP is congruent to sec CR. So this sec AP is congruent to sec CR. Okay, so we can write here AP is congruent to PB is congruent to sec CR, and PB is parallel to CR. That means we can write here this quadrilateral PBCR is a parallelogram. Okay, because these two are opposite sides are parallel, so it is a parallelogram. In this parallelogram we can write sec PQ is parallel to sec BC. If PR is parallel to sec BC, we can write here sec PQ is parallel to sec BC. So first part is proved. Now we have to prove that PQ is half of BC. So we can write here PR is equal to BC. Reason is opposite sides are congruent. That means therefore PQ is equal to half of PR, because Q is the PQ is equal to QR. So we can write here PQ is equal to half of PR. Reason is construction, and we know that PR is equal to BC. So instead of PR we can write here BC. Okay, so therefore PQ is equal to half of BC. Hence we have proved the midpoint theorem. Okay, I hope you all have understood this midpoint theorem. It was very important and very simple one also. Okay, now this is the converse of midpoint theorem. The statement is, if a line drawn through the midpoint of one side of a triangle and parallel to the other side, then it bisects the third side. That means in triangle ABC, if point D is the midpoint of side AB, line L is passing through the point D and parallel to side BC, intersects AC at point E, then we have to prove that AE is equal to EC. Okay, so this is called as converse of midpoint theorem. This we don't have to prove, only statement you have to remember. Okay, so with this I am going to end this session here. Thanks for watching this video.